From the times of the settlers, there have been legends of a mountain, uninhabited by anyone. Local legends suggested that those who ventured up there were never to return. All these years ago, a group made their way up there for materials, game, and building supplies. Things became sparse, the trees began to thin out, the only sound around was the wind. The most outlandish thing, however, is that there were no animals. Even in the forested groves, nothing was to be found. The only animals they could find were all crows and ravens. There were no other types of birds. Eventually, they stumbled on the corpses, some of them more intact than others. Some were fresh with the peck marks visible, some were just bone. All of them were easily found, with murders of crows swarming above and around them. Somehow, all the creatures that wandered up here were dead. The tents were set up, and the nights were uneasy. Some folk went missing. Whenever they passed one of these birds, they could feel their eyes boring into their skulls, almost making their beaks seem useless. No one could shake the feeling, so they left. And then, it appeared. Its servants flocked above it. They all came forward. Some cowered and ran. The ones closest to leaving were first to die. The blood splatter seemed like tiny drops compared to the seemingly endless hills. Some made it, feeding them whatever carrion they found on the way and hadn't cooked yet. This managed to satisfy the creature and its minions. The people who were left were changed. They brought others, animals, and supplies to build a village up there. All the dead would be brought up to the peak of the mountain to keep the thing at bay, now known among them as Lord Raven. The village folk lived normally for a while, but eventually over the years, what started as keeping themselves safe turned into a devotion, many seeking the ascension it could bring them, and it delivered. The more dead they brought it, the more plentiful the crops would grow. They started wearing masks, similar to that of the Victorian plague doctors. Surgeries took place, people stretching their skulls and faces to look just like the birds around them. Whenever someone got old and wise enough, they'd climb to the peak. What awaited them was unknown. Was it ascendance, or just being torn to shreds? There's good reason to never venture upon that mountain now, for not only will the birds stalk you, but the people Lord Raven has taken under its wing will as well.